Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is making the sort of impression that Activision, Treyarch, they just can't afford to have happen this year. And it's a year in which they have had increasing competition, especially this fall in the shooter space. And we are right now seeing them hurt. As this article points out, Black Ops 7 struggles on Steam compared to Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders. And of course, there's a number of excuses coming up, like, look, there's Game Pass, there's Battle, there's other places in which Black Ops 7 can be purchased and played, and that's what a lot of Call of Duty players do. There still is insights that you can gain from that. The fact that Black Ops 7 is right now down about a third of the audience that was there last year with Black Ops 6, that says a lot. And the big reason why Black Ops 7 is just getting tons of mockery, it's because of clips like this coming from the campaign mode. And there really is no words that need to be said for myself. It speaks for itself.
Harper? Maybe we could talk this out with a fucking kaiju-sized person!
It's still hilarious.
What am I playing?
Call of Duty Kaiju, yes, that's exactly what they worked extensively on. This was the plan that they came up for Black Ops 7's campaign. And as I said in my last video, and I'll say it again right now, it just screams that they are out of ideas and they are forced to continue this franchise back-to-back years. And it is worth mentioning that there's other instances where they're just like taking from the original Black Ops games. Like, it's, look at this.
We Russians know this better.
Infamous moment from Black Ops 1.
Prepare yourself, mate. Mason! Over here!
Now Black Ops 7, and yes, those are zombies almost. That would be an example of the regression of this franchise. People want what we had around 2010. It's very difficult to just understand this AAA games industry and the road they keep on taking with a number of franchises. This is not exclusive to Call of Duty because this is an ongoing problem, which a lot of this industry just doesn't seem to have a grasp of what gamers want from them anymore. And look, Treyarch in the last couple of months, couple of days, they've been going on full damage control, really trying to put a strong emphasis that Black Ops 7, it is worth it. They've worked so hard on this. They put tons of work into, you know, this $70 premium experience. And that's what a Treyarch developer said. It's packed with an obscene amount of content, and it promises it didn't just add as much shit as possible, except for the fact that they're really relying on the nostalgia with every aspect of this experience. But this is specifically what a Treyarch dev said. We already talked about developing Black Ops 6 and 7 together. They were forced to. There's no way they agreed to or wanted to do that back to back. And it already hurt, you know, Infinity Ward when they did that with Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 just a couple of years ago. And the product, the quality of the product hurt because of it. But I think for me, it's like we didn't even recognize the scope of it. This is the lead producer at Raven because they have like 15 fucking studios working on these games nowadays. We were so focused and dialed in on the modes that we were working on, and obviously a lot of us touch multiple modes, but I think we were so focused on what we wanted to do and what we wanted to deliver individually, and then we got into these playtests and we're like, whoa, we have done a lot here. It's more than what we even hoped for. And I'll give them this one thing. It seems like the Call of Duty community is overall very satisfied with the multiplayer, but look, first impressions matter, and it's a negative impression right now here with Black Ops 7. The campaign is what they love to rely on with all of their marketing. That is something that they've done for years, and Black Ops 7, it's not working that way because the campaign is by far the weakest aspect of this experience, and it has right now negative word of mouth at the worst possible time when Arc Raiders is having 400,000 or 500,000 players on Steam. Battlefield 6 has already brought immense competition this fall. Like I said, last year, Black Ops 6 didn't do all that great. Activision executives, Microsoft executives were complaining about it, and that was one of the big reasons why we saw Game Pass see that price increase. And this year, looks like it's going to be another negative year for this company at a time in which they can't afford for this to be happening. And then we have another Treyarch developer, Miles Leslie. He's Black Ops 7's associate creative director, and he adds that none of the new, refreshed, or returning content has been shoehorned in for the sake of it, and that the vast volume is down to the devs' curiosity and eagerness to please everyone. please everyone, because that's a mentality that works. One of the base questions we always ask ourselves is, wouldn't it be cool? You start with one thing and it's like, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could use all the campaign abilities across Avalon? Yeah, because definitely the Warzone map is what everybody was yearning for. And you're like, yeah, that would be pretty awesome actually. And so Endgame is birthed, and yes, they have like some sort of extraction mode at the end of the campaign, coming again at the worst time when Arc Raiders, that is what people want to play right now. That's the thing that's getting all the attention in the shooter space right now. And look, the Black Ops 7 team has been going on full-on damage control since the trailer debuted a couple of months ago, and the lazy accusations were thrown at them at a time, again, when Battlefield 6 was releasing and there was tons of hype for it because there hadn't been a good Battlefield game in a long time, and it looked like Black Ops 7 was just more Call of Duty. And, you know, the Treyarch developers, they tried their best, but it just screams laziness with this experience, and it's the same feeling we all had when we saw the first footage of this game. And this is what, again, Treyarch's creative director Miles Leslie said at the time: you just don't worry about it, right? And this is what he was referring to, the lazy claims. When we start, it's not like, what are they going to think? It's like, we have a vision, we're going to hit that vision, and there's always going to be people that are going to try to knock you down and not have positive criticism, which we do look for. So it's like noise, right? You try to cut through that and stick to your vision and plan. And unfortunately, the vision here fell flat on its face. And they really tried leaning in on the marketing, especially as of late, that this is, you know, people, if you enjoyed Black Ops 2, you're going to enjoy Black Ops 7. And there was specific quotes really about the competitive side of the experience, but throughout Black Ops 7, they leaned into the nostalgia of Black Ops 2. And this was, what, their third or fourth attempt really at a sequel of Black Ops 2. So I just really think that this franchise needs to reinvent itself again. They did that with Modern Warfare 2019, and since then it's been a downward spiral. And I really do question when this franchise is going to have a moment in which people are like, wow, Call of Duty is kind of back. And I just question if that's ever going to happen, especially because there's a need for the integration into Warzone with all Call of Duty nowadays. That is a problem that's not going away. And ultimately, though, this is the launch, the SteamDB launch, less than 100,000 players on Steam. That's just rather notable, rather interesting. And yes, there are the other platforms, but you can see the other launches with Modern Warfare 2 years ago. Modern Warfare 3 even had about 200,000 players. And then, yeah, last year's Black Ops 6, 315,000, now down to 95,000. That's probably going to be the peak with this experience. And like I said, the impressions, the overall opinion on Black Ops 7 is very mixed. 1,000 ratings right now, only 43% of them are positive, and yeah, littered with AI slop, runs like a kid in a wheelchair, not worth the price I paid. Product received for free. Oh boy. The game studio is so out of touch with what players want. I bought it so you don't need to. Don't buy this. That says a lot. These are the top reviews right now on Steam. And even if you go to a place like Metacritic, critic review scores kind of positive. Users, though, much different story. A lot of them going in on them. This is PC user reviews. It is to Black Ops 6 what Modern Warfare 3 is to Modern Warfare 2, and I think that is a very fair assessment. Only with more aggressively paired back corners and a heftier injection of Warzone into all modes and zombies. The campaign plays with all the dangling corpses of the first two Black Ops entries and is a punitive insult to all CODs that came before it. Every single character or callback is entirely cosmetic, and it goes on. Another user saying the game is a complete failure of anything close to what a Call of Duty game should be. And I would agree, especially with those earlier Black Ops games. This is a disgrace and a disservice to gamers and really the development team that made those original experiences all those years ago. But yes, the feelings amongst critics, very different than users right now. It's not really too surprising. But yeah, 76 top critic average, not great, not bad. 67% of critics recommending the experience. And there have been some critics really going in on this experience. Eric Kane of Forbes saying it is the worst Call of Duty campaign ever. And I really did like this comparison in this review. He compares it to frosting on a cake. He says how much he loves the frosting, especially if it's chocolate. I'm the same personally. In a typical Black Ops game, the weird stuff at the end, that's the frosting. And the earlier, more grounded levels are the cake. They work well together. But unfortunately, Black Ops 7 is entirely the frosting. There is no cake. The weird, trippy, mind-bending, psychedelic stuff is the whole story, and it does not work at all. Now, the thing is, he also talks about all the weird, always online requirements with this experience and some of the bizarre moments that have happened to players. He actually got a response from Activision about this, and Activision explained why you cannot pause the Black Ops 7 campaign, and if you're looking for a satisfactory response, it's just them defending this bullshit. This is the statement they released about the absent features. The Black Ops 7 co-op campaign missions and gameplay are hosted on dedicated servers online with other players to facilitate global progression and XP earning, because that's exactly what people were yearning for, along with saves across multiple devices. This means pausing isn't possible for the same reason it isn't in multiplayer. Again, this is supposed to be a narrative experience. People don't want that, and I understand that they really wanted to push the co-op side of this, but it did not work here. And the fact that there's so many different hurdles that you have to go through with this experience, I just view it as unacceptable. And yeah, he says it isn't in multiplayer, though there are mission checkpoints if you fail while playing. Sure, there are some of those, but if you go AFK, if you go far enough, you back out, you lose all of your progress. He says it right here in this article. There are indeed mission checkpoints if you fail, but these do not apply if you quit the mission or get kicked, meaning you'll have to start over. That is just, these are some of the design issues that they should have figured out during the development of this game. But again, because they had a limited amount of time to work on this is the pile of shit that we unfortunately got. So while Forbes' Eric Kane really did not like Black Ops 7's campaign, Eurogamer actually didn't like it as well. The problem is, they gave it a better score than what they gave Arc Raiders. And it's just really weird, because Arc Raiders, again, I get it, this is different reviewers, but this is what I talked about in a separate video. Eurogamer set a standard with their perspective. They gave Arc Raiders, they gave it a glowing review, but they gave it a 4 out of 10 because of its use of voice AI, even though like the voice actors had to sign on for it and they agreed. Some people have argued that it's more ethical than the generative AI that we've seen. I do think that there is an argument to be made from that perspective. But yeah, they enjoyed the experience, gave it a 4 to 10. This was a political review. They wanted to make a point about AI generation in the gaming industry. I get that. The thing is, they did not hold this with Call of Duty Black Ops 7, giving it 3 out of 5. There's not one mention within this review about AI generation at all. And the fact that Black Ops 7 has an even more disgusting use of it with its Studio Ghibli rubbish looking calling cards. Like, you would think Eurogamer would want to go after Black Ops 7, but then one thing does click. Embark Studios indie developer, no real backing. And then you have Activision, who are backed by the trillion-dollar Microsoft, and I'm just saying that there has to be a reasoning why Eurogamer isn't going to hold this same standard for a big franchise like Call of Duty. And they have many issues. I wonder if they really did consider, maybe it would be getting 1 star. I think that would have sent more of a message than them going after fucking Arc Raiders, but to his their own, I suppose. And look, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 devs have been responding to the generative AI backlash. This was even before the game's launch, and they had all the excuses already ready. Not replace, but streamline. I love that excuse. We live in a world now where there are AI tools, and I agree. The fact is that these developers have tried their best to hide it over the last couple of years. And they say, I think our official statement we said last year around Black Ops 6 is that everything that goes into the game is touched by the team 100%. We have generative AI tools to help us, but none of that goes in game. And then you're going to say, yeah, but it has. I'll say it has by accident, them selling AI generated skins, sure. And that was never the intention. We've come out and we've been clear that we use these tools to help the team, but they do not replace any of the fantastic team members we have that are doing the final touches and building that content to put it in the game. Yes, because the team members totally came up with those Studio Ghibli inspired calling cards. That was their total design. They fully designed them themselves. I'm sure that that's exactly what happened. So everything you play, human created and touched AI tools in the world we live in. It's how do we streamline it? That's really the goal, not replace, but streamline it. And I just don't believe this at all. This is bullshit excuses that they're coming up right here. And IGN, for once, actually does have a good follow-up question. They talk about the now infamous six-fingered zombie Santa bundle, and it does currently remain in Black Ops 6, and they asked this Treyarch lead developer, why hasn't it and other suspected generated AI images been removed from the game? He says, yeah, good question. Not my department, but I know that the team is actively looking at that stuff, making sure that it is not shipped and how we fix it. I don't buy this at all. And like I said, people have reacted with anger and frustration with this because this is going industry-wide, and it is replacing jobs, and it is going to continue to do so, as well as stealing from other artists. Like those Studio Ghibli designs, I do wonder how they feel about all of this. And look, Activision, they did have their own response. We talked about this last video. They just pretty much made a bunch of bullshit excuses with their original statement about this. They said, like so many around the world, we use a variety of digital tools, including AI tools, to empower and support our teams to create the best gaming experiences possible for our players. Our creative process continues to be led by the talented individuals in our studios. It's a nothing burger of a statement, but it does seem like US lawmakers are starting to pay attention and see what's happening, especially in the AAA games industry with its real problematic uses of AI. And this actually got the attention of a US congressman, Ro Khanna, who talked about this. He quote tweeted Charlie Intel and the calling cards, the AI calling cards. He said, "We need regulations that prevent companies from using AI to eliminate jobs to extract greater profits. Artists at these companies need to have a say in how AI is developed or deployed. They should share in the profits, and there should be a tax on mass displacement." And the one thing I do love about the fact of AI being used in gaming, you heard a lot of these individuals saying that it's going to lead to further innovation. Consumers are going to get a better side of this, but we're not. These products are still costing $70. They're going to continue to rise in cost, and developers are losing their jobs as well as artists having their work stolen. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is, where is the benefits, especially on the consumer side of this? Because I don't see it. And Ro Khanna, this United States congressman, he did follow up saying, here's what Nobel laureate, this individual proposed: tax reforms to discourage excessive automation, guardrails for worker input before deployment, not eluded a complete ban, support unions and workers to bargain for workers benefiting from productivity gains. All things that are not going to happen, unfortunately. And this is one of those things that it's not just the fact of AI being used in video games, it's worldwide. This is an issue that unfortunately it seems like governments worldwide are not touching at all yet. It's going to come a time which they're going to have to address this problem, because it is quickly emerging, and automation in the future with AI technology, a lot of questions and concerns moving forward. This United States congressman did end up quote tweeting his original take, adding that a company replacing artists with AI is not much different than one that replaces truck drivers. AI cannot just be for enriching tech billionaires, AI must be for us, not them. But look, I definitely have very mixed feelings about AI uses in video games, but I do think there is a side of this in which it can be viewed as a tool. And Hideo Kojima pretty much said the same thing, the creator of Metal Gear and recently Death Stranding. He says he sees creating together with AI as the way to stay one step ahead in the future, and he talked about it being a friend. A lot of people use AI in creative work to come up with the ideas, but I think of AI as more of a friend. Since I've been in the digital industry, I would lead the creative part and use AI to boost efficiency. I would like AI to handle the tedious tasks that would lower cost and cut down on time. It's more like co-creating with AI instead of just using it. I see a future where I stay one step ahead, creating together with AI. He was attacked for this perspective because yes, there's a lot of people that are just anti-AI no matter what, but there is an argument to be made that there is some areas that really aren't being talked about by these companies because they don't care about it, but there are some artistic and creative ways in which AI can enhance products. And this was actually something that was used on Spider-Verse. This is an infamous example.
Animate into the Spider-Verse. The easiest way to explain it is that they animated shots, let's say A, C, and E, having each of those shots at different angles. And they put those designs into a machine learning program, and that machine gave out shots B and D, filling in shots in between two other ones. Then animators went back and made sure the machine did the right thing, and they repeated this process over and over and over again, to the point that eventually the machine could keep on filling in even wider and wider gaps.
And that's an example of a tool. And there are other examples that I would consider ethical. An artist, sketching something or creating a drawing of something that needs to be an asset. And there is model generation in which it could be turned into a 3D model with all of the triangles and all of that, and a defined surface. That is important, and that cuts down on the amount of time necessary, and that's an example of it being used as a tool. The problem is, though, the uses that we are seeing right now in the AAA games industry is not of that. It's just of bullshit generated AI. Instead of hiring artists and animators and such to make this stuff, they're just resorting to the cheaper alternative, which is, and it has, cost jobs. And look, Black Ops 7 is one of those experiences that's going to be quickly forgotten, but this was a nostalgia bait experience. This is what they relied on. The entire marketing campaign behind Black Ops 7, as this person says, whoa, Menendez is back, but how? This is so freaky, guys, and within 30 minutes he's not really back. And we quickly quickly figure out that this was a whole marketing stunt, especially the other stuff with Frank Woods and Alex Mason. It was a marketing stunt because they didn't want Emma Kagan and the Guild CEO to be the center focus for the marketing. They needed something, and it was the legacy of Black Ops 2, which is just everything wrong with this AAA games industry, relying on what they did in the past because they can't create new stuff that people care about. And that really has defined Activision the last couple of years, not just with Black Ops, but also with Modern Warfare. But things aren't going to get better. We're going to see more examples and more outrage with the AI-generated images. That is what Call of Duty is these days, and they are not the sole publisher. We're also seeing Electronic Arts jump in on that fun, and also Ubisoft. So interesting times to come. Black Ops 7, just an experience that is soulless, it's creatively bankrupt, and we'll see what happens next year at a time in which they're going to be competing with Grand Theft Auto fucking 6. But what do you make of Black Ops 7? Did you choose to check it out or not? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video, or if you found any informative value. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.